Marvel Legends, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Cassie Wave, Crossfire. Let's get it. What's good, my peeps? It's the Ruckus back at you again, continuing our trek through the Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Cassie Wave of figures by Marvel Legends. What we have up, you see it right there. We've got Marvel's Crossfire. What we got going on here, you see the packaging. We've got the digital render of Crossfire. And of course, there is the artwork that is behind him. On the side of the packaging, we have digital render of Cassie Lang, the Build-A-Figure, and of course the parts required to build her. And we have a listing of the figures required to build her. 6 figures are needed. There are 7 in a wave. Ant-Man, Scott Lang Ant-Man, is not needed to build Cassie, and he does come 2 per case. Crossfire is number 5. On the flip, we have more artwork of Crossfire. At the top, we've got the Marvel logo. And bringing up the rear, we have another digital rendering of the figure Crossfire. And on our left, we see the Build-A-Figure piece that's included with Crossfire. That would be the left leg for Cassie Lang. And on the right, we have Crossfire's accessories. He's actually holding one of his accessories. As you can see, he's got a sniper rifle, pair of fists, some effects, and a strap for that rifle. While we have Crossfire going around on his rotating base there, a little something about him. His given name is William Cross. He's the cousin of Darren Cross. If that name is familiar to you, it's because you may recall that name as the villainous Yellow Jacket from the first Ant-Man movie. Also, William Cross, aka Crossfire, is technically a cyborg, and that's because his left eye has been replaced by a cybernetic organism implant for his eye, and also his ear. The left side of his skull is jacked up, so he's got a cybernetic ear and a cybernetic eye. If they were removed, he would be essentially blind in the left eye, and almost all of his hearing is gone from his left side, as you can no doubt surmise from his villain name, Crossfire. He's an excellent marksman, former CIA, and yeah, he's been around for a minute. He's going up against Hawkeye, he's going up against Moon Knight, and he's been down with Misty Knight, believe it or not. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get him off the base. But before we even do that, let's go over what we got in terms of the accessories. You saw it on the back, but we may as well check them out while we've got the opportunity. He comes with the left leg to build Cassie Lang, as you can see, and we will set this aside. When we're ready to build Cassie, we will go ahead and do that. Cross also comes with this sniper rifle. We've seen it before. I believe we've seen it with Yelena Belova, if I'm not mistaken. And just this time it's molded in all black, and yeah, that's basically the size of it. And just like the previous iteration of the weapon, it comes with a strap. This time it's molded in white. We also get a blast effect for that weapon, as well as a smoke effect, and we get a set of fists for good measure. Taking a closer look at that head sculpt, once again, the digital printing that they utilize is just excellent. I love how this head sculpt looked. I just like that they look so much more realistic, the face prints here. And you see the cybernetic left eye on Cross. Skin tone is pretty nice. The rest of the face looks good. He's got that stern expression. Look at it from an angle, very nice. Let's look at it from the other angle, also nice. And yeah, it's very nice head sculpt we have here. Crossfire is molded in basically red, and he's got the white paint apps. They look pretty clean on mine. It comes with a a white belt that's separate, but basically it's nice and snug around the waist, so that's pretty cool. And of course he's got the paint apps down below. He's on the Spider UK body, which is pretty decent body. If there are any limitations, we'll see that when I go through the articulation, which I'm going to do right now, and you'll see what limitations we have. Head is on a ball hinge. You can look up pretty far, look down just as far. You get some pivot, and of course you get the 360. The cut looks like he'd have butterfly joints, but he doesn't. He could lift his shoulder up 90 degrees. He can rotate 360. He's got the bicep swivel. It's the Spider UK body, so it's older, so it's pinned. And he's got double jointed elbows right there. And he's got the swiveling wrist and horizontal hinge. And he has horizontal hinges on all his hands, including the fists. He's got an ab crunch. He can go forward that far. He can go back equally as far. He's got a waist swivel, and here's where we get the limitation. His hips can only go out that far, which is crazy for a Spider character, which is where this body first came on. Of course, Spider UK was more of a strong man than an athletic guy, even though he had spider powers. He can lift his leg up a little bit more than 90, back a little bit. He's got the thigh cut, double jointed pinned knees, and here's some more of that limited articulation. Can only get his knees up that far, so more or less just 90. So there you go. He's got the boot cut or at the calf. He can point his toe forward that far, pretty decent. You could get it up there, that's pretty decent. He's got ankle pivot and holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Here we have Crossfire, flanked by, on our right, Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, and on our left, Stinger, otherwise known as Cassie Lang. Here I've attempted to get Crossfire in a shooting position with his sniper rifle. You see I've got the blast effect in the muzzle. I can tell you that this would have been a great reason to have butterfly joints on either this particular buck or another buck that does have the butterfly joints, and to have, at least with the trigger fingers, the trigger hands, the vertical wrist hinges, so you can get them in a better pose. The way how I've got him here, you can't really tell that he's not zeroing in on that sight, and you can already see that the weapon is pointed slightly up. So with work, you could probably get it a little bit more, from 9 to 6, but you probably won't be able to have him look like he's zeroing in with his sights. But it is what it is. Here's Crossfire lined up with everyone we've reviewed in this wave so far. We've got Egghead on the far left. On the far right, we have Kang. In between Kang and Cross, we've got Ultron. We've got the Wasp behind Ultron, and we've got Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, in front. So as far as Crossfire is concerned, he's on the Spider UK body. Pretty nice body, definitely a good looking body, definitely one of the better bodies from the recent past. It would have been nice if we had butterfly joints and vertical wrist hinges to make firing weapons, aiming weapons look a little bit more realistic and a lot less problematic to pose. But we got what we got. My white paint apps on the buck are pretty clean. I'm happy about that. The face sculpt is pretty banging. So yeah, we got another character, pretty obscure, but when it comes to the comic figures, we love just getting more and more characters, and when Hasbro does that, like they did with Egghead, that's how it gets done.